1. We're going to load up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Hickman High School tonight. Who's out here for Hickman High School in support? Amazing. And, of course, our home team designated for tonight, Battle High School. Let's hear some representation for Battle High School, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, for all of you guys watching at home, or for everyone right now in the crowd, and you guys want people to watch from home, you can tune into our stream at twitch.tv/playukatsu. We currently have 13 members right now, a little bit lower than normal, but again, well, we'll see. I think for the most part, we get a lot more Jeff City people later on, so we're going to see if we can boost those numbers. We might be doing some giveaways in the chat, so tune in. We'll see what we can do for you guys, and thank you guys for coming out, both parents, sponsors, other kids, a part of the teams. Thank you guys. I'm sure everyone here appreciates being able to play with the crowd.
Not just the parents, but I've noticed that Rockbridge High School, who isn't even playing tonight, is out here. They've got their captains analyzing with their laptops out on a desk that they've set aside to see, hey, how do we beat this team next week? They're analyzing the picks, the bans, and everything in between to get their competitive advantage as they face this team, whoever it's Hickman or Battle next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have rolled into the game. 10 seconds in, again, at the beginning of every League of Legends match, all 5 characters start at their home base and begin to set up their defenses, their lookout points, until the laning phase starts, where they trade minion kills and, of course, player kills as well.
Yeah, so, again, coming into week 3, this is the last week of the first round robin rotation between the circuit of schools in this Ukatsu eSports League. Currently, Hickman High School B team sits at 2-0. They have not dropped a game yet. We're going to see if they can hold out for a clean 3-0 for the first rotation. On the other hand, Battle picked up their first win last week, so they're currently sitting 1-1. Coming up a hot streak, we know spirits are high. We'll see if they can take down Hickman High School B tonight.
Yeah. Looks like standard starts for both blue and red side, Hickman and Battle. Traditionally, when you're playing League of Legends, it's customary for the bottom lane to support their jungler to kill the first minion so they don't take too much damage. That way they can continue to farm or kill any jungle minion monsters for gold and experience so that later they can gank or help out another lane to push it in their favor.
Yeah, so early on in this game, I'm actually expecting to see a lot of action. Both junglers being Ruling Ocean playing the big green blob, that is Zach, as well as Nathan Nelmore playing the Horseman. They're playing junglers that traditionally, they don't need to scale to level 6 as much to be as effective. Meaning, level 6 is when characters get their ultimates, and that's usually a power spike for some characters. Well, however, these characters have a lot of ganking potential. Ganking being the jungler's job to come in from the jungle and come into other lanes and kind of flank, per se, and turn matchups into like a 2v1, 3v1 situation, 3v2 kind of situation, and helping their other laners pull ahead in kills.
Absolutely.
And they're both playing junglers that have a lot of ganking potential. So I'm expecting both Nathan and Ruling Ocean to gank early and often.
Yeah, a particular matchup that I'm super curious about would be in the top lane, Garen versus Sion. That would be Tim Peters playing Sion versus Abdul Waldo.
Waleed.
Waleed. My mistake. But I'm wondering how that matchup is going to go, because this is the first time we've seen Abdul playing in this capacity, on the spotlight, other than last week. He kind of just walked on the team last second because of some substitutions.
Yeah, we will say, he actually will be subbing in the A-Team game later today. His sister, Anusa, who is normally the Battle's A-Team jungler, she wasn't able to make tonight due to some scheduling conflicts. So while
Jazz
he is a
band,
B-Team... Yeah, excellent. We have a lot of players in this league that do multiple extracurriculars. So she will not be present tonight, so he'll be subbing in for his sister playing in the jungle position on the A-Team game. So good luck to you, Abdul.
Fantastic. Okay, right around the 3-minute mark, we see both Zach, Cameron Ruling Ocean, and Nelmore playing the Hecarim Centaur character. They have finished their blue and red buffs. They will be looking for a gank or maybe to farm more, depending on how comfortable on the champion they are. Slowly seeing Nathan Nelmore roaming bottom to top, seeing if there is an opportunity meanwhile.
Ooh, good trade in the bot lane coming out of Tom Lawless. Looks like it's going to be a heavy engage. Exhaust comes out onto the Quinn. Both of Battle's players are going to flash away. On the flip side, we see another gank coming into the top lane, a 2v1 situation like we said before. Nathan Nelmore looking for a gank on, you know who it is, 7-7. Looks like Abdul's going to get away, though.
Yep.
Yeah, but big engage early on the bot lane. That's just a 2v2 situation. And I kind of said earlier on, I personally think that the Sivir, so the boomerang holding lady and the kind of keyboard playing person, that is Sona and Sivir, the bot laners for Battle High School, I think they have a stronger lane matchup. Their abilities allow them to poke and deal more damage, pushing the lane in a little bit easier. Except I think they were out-traded there by Hickman.
Yeah, both players, the AD carry and support for Battle, pulling their Flash Summoner abilities. Again, for those unfamiliar with League of Legends, every now and then, about 5-minute cooldown, you've got a special ability. In this case, they use their Blink and Exhaust ability to escape the potential first blood coming from Hickman High School.
And so for the next couple of minutes, Hickman High School has the advantage in terms of summoner spells. Both, well, I guess Tom Lawless did use his heal, another summoner spell that allows him to recover a little bit of health in trades. But I think for the most part, Hickman has the lead in that bottom lane, slowly starting to pull ahead in CS. Now, CS, for those of you guys who don't know what League of Legends is, we want to cover it every single time, so of course you parents out there can understand. Oh, we're seeing another engage coming in the bot lane. Huge trades coming out by Tom Lawless. Again, I would not expect this from these champion matchups.
Another active aggression coming from Alec Alejero in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Ruling Oceans taking some chip damage from Nathan Nelmore in the Tri-Bush bot lane. He's going to go for a full gank, knowing fully that they do not have a flash up. Takes a tower. Oh, very close to getting first blooded, and he does. Cameron, Ruling Oceans, normally the mid laner for Battle A-Team, the jungler substitute for tonight.
But we see a TP coming in from Alec Alejero, and they secure a pickup kill onto Kobe, Icy Mr. Lamb.
However, he is taken down by a turret shot, perhaps stepping a little too close to that turret. Again, if you are attacking an enemy champion under turret, you will get targeted by that turret.
Yeah, there's a party in the bot lane. Like we said before, we're going to see a lot of pressure from these teammates. This isn't something you normally see in what you call solo queue, meaning when people are playing the ranked play of League of Legends, they usually play by themselves or with a duo. And it's these team coordinations that, all these players are playing on a 5-man. They're all in voice comms together, and they can coordinate some of these plays. So we're currently 6 minutes in the game, and we're seeing a lot of action, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's not typical stuff when you watch League of Legends. Typically in the first few minutes, most laners are just chipping away at minions, hoping for that last, just like that 17 plus gold right there, getting that last kill on a minion to farm up to buy items. But again, like you said, party in the bot lane means 3 kills get exchanged, ultimately going in the favor of Battle High School, thanks to Cameron, Ruling Oceans, who's getting a little invaded right now by Nathan Nelmore.
But it looks like Sir Klein was also there, able to back him up, making a 2v1 situation. Is Nelmore going to be able to escape? Doesn't look like it. And Sir Klein, Nathaniel, picks up a kill on Nelmore.
Again, Nathaniel Klein backing up Cameron in the jungle, knowing that Nathan might be going a little aggressive, trying to invade and steal away a camp, but unsuccessfully doing so.
Yeah, a little bit cheeky. Heckram isn't a character that you normally see invading enemy junglers. So he's trying to go into Ruling Ocean, Cameron's jungle, and he's trying to steal his camps. Meaning he's going to try to take away his resources, take away gold away from him. But they were able to follow up, and he ends up paying for his life there. Right.
As a jungle main myself, it's usually, you only see a Heckram invading if they are miles ahead of the opponent jungler, which he was not.
Ooh, look, we're seeing another engage coming in the bot lane. Alec Alejero roaming down, trying to pick up a kill on Kobe. He escapes with his life. Oh, big flash coming out of Alec Alejero.
For the tower dive. Getting the stun off on Sona. He does not have any summoners. Trades another one. So Sona with 2 kills, 3 kills. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Abdul taking a kill on Tim Peters. But we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. Nelmore. Large ultimate coming from Cameron, Ruling Oceans when he squished the ground and popped back up. That is his ultimate ability. Does not get killed. Going a little aggressive here, though. He's going to regret that as they quickly take down the health bar for Cameron, Ruling Oceans, and they will take down all the little blobs that he spawns after he dies as part of his passive. So many kills just happened, Ben. What the heck just happened?
So we're going to see, I think we captured that on the replay real quick. Like you said before, we're talking about tower dives. That's the coordination that we expect to see out of Hickman High School. So Hickman High School, they're starting to get a little aggressive in the bot lane here. We see Alec Alejero roaming down in the tri-bush here. And the bot laners from Hickman High School, they're trying to engage. both Kobe and Charbel, they try to escape, barely escaping with his life. He doesn't actually quite make it as Alejero flashes in to secure the kill, and then they pick up another kill on Charbel.
I will say that was a good defensive effort by Charbel, who picked up 2 kills, now 3 kills, 1 death, and 1 assist. Incidentally, with those turrets, we were talking earlier. Oh, let's watch this dragon fight first. Looks like Battle is trying to chip away at the first objective of the game, which would be an Infernal Drake. If they secure this kill, which they do, they get a permanent buff. So for the rest of this game, and yes, this is something worthy of clapping, for the rest of the game, they get an additional damage buff, but that is without another engage coming in from both sides of the map. Ultimate dropping down from Griffin.
Yeah, we talked about global ultimates. That allowed Alec to get back into this team fight, turning it into a clean 4v4. Looks like no kills yet, and everyone on Battle side is trying to scatter. Tom Lawless picks up the clean kill on Icy Mr. Lamb, or actually that was Ruling Ocean. Actually, to be honest, it's hard to keep track of. 3 kills go in favor of Hickman High School. There's been so much action here. Not only are we struggling to keep up to explain to you, some of you parents out there who might not understand all the League of Legends lingo that we're throwing out, but we're having trouble keeping up with all these kills. This is by far the most aggressive game that we have seen yet this season. Again, we're at 15 kills and only 10 minutes in. That's well over 1 kill a minute.
And I will say it makes a heck of an entertaining game, especially only 10 minutes into the match. We've seen flash forwards, we've seen tower dives for 3v2s, 3v1s. Again, something we talked about earlier in the match. Can Battle respond to the Hickman tower dive? And it looks like they're holding up at this point. There's no huge gold lead swings. Right after they secured Battle, that is, right after they secured the Infernal Drake, Hickman said, okay, they are weak. Let's charge right in and try to pick up some kills at least so that they don't just walk away with a free dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so even though right now Battle leads in kills, it's currently 8-7, and they picked up the Infernal Drake, one of the neutral monsters that we talked about that gives them a big buff. Hickman High School is actually ahead in gold right now. You see at the top of the screen. They're currently at 16.2 in comparison to Battle's 15.9. And largely that's attributed to the CS leads. Like we talked before, these are the creep score leads that we talked about. When people kill minions, the little monsters that we see in the lanes, they get more gold. And so we see a 63-36 CS lead in the bottom lane. Now, roughly 15 minion kills is equal to 1 kill. So that in and of itself contributes to a lot of the gold that Hickman has right now. That's really puts them in the lead.
Absolutely. Second gank following up from Nathan Nelmore.
Great
Mid laner
ult.
Nathan, very mobile champion, decides to ultimate away. She's got 3 dashes when Ari presses that ultimate button.
And like I said before, we're seeing a lot of ganks coming out of Nathan Nelmore. A lot of pressure, like we said before. Now we see Ruling Ocean Cameron coming in for a huge tower dive, trying to pick up the kill.
Picks up the kill between 2 enemy towers, but not without escaping Alec. 3, 0, and 5. That means 3 kills, 0 deaths, and 5 assists. He's got a lot of gold in this game, and it's going all towards the carries within this match.
Yeah, Alec Alejero, he's very comfortable on this Galio pick, gargoyle-looking champion. And in the first week, he was 11-1 at one point, solo carrying basically the first game for Hickman High School. And right now, he's getting just as big.
Highlight?
Yes, actually. We do indeed have his highlight right here. Alec Alejero James, currently a junior for Hickman High School. After this week, we're going to have a lot more stats for all of our players. We're going to be very excited to highlight each and every one of them throughout this league as we continue on.
Alec, arguably one of the league's MVPs right now. One of the reasons why Coach Ben Bruce had put him in the B team mid lane is because he knows for certain that he's a good leader. He keeps the rest of his teammates calm and collected, and he's got great shot calling. That's why we see him time and time again with these big leads. Huge engage
coming into the bot lane from Cameron once again. Ultimate followed up by Pauly, but we see the return ultimate again by Alec with his Galio, allowing him to basically teleport across the map, turning the fight into a 3v3. Cameron's going to pay for his life here. And even though it looked like Battle had the upper hand there, at least the initiative, Hickman turns it around and picks up 2 kills in return. Nathan Nelmore comes around the back from the tri-bush and secures the kill on Pauly.
That marks a 2-for-0 kill trade in favor of Hickman High School as they also take down the first tower in the game, which grants bonus gold. So now larger gold lead swinging in favor of Hickman. And again, it's these global ultimates that Ben, you and I were talking about. Galio, the mid laner played by Alec, is playing a Gargoyle Stone champion who's got an ultimate ability that he can press every few minutes that essentially jumps super high in the air and comes crashing down to protect any one of his allies within range, and that range is halfway across the map.
So he can basically turn these engages. Like we said before, Battle thought they had a 3v2 situation. Alec ults in, which also increases their resistances of his teammates, and turns the fight around, turns it back into a 3v3.
So still very even match we've got going on, even though Hickman has the first tower and are ahead in kills ever so slightly. Battle with their Infernal Drake may be able to make it up for in damage because of that extra damage bonus they get.
Ooh, we see a lane swap coming into the top lane. Ruling Ocean comes in, though, to support Abdul. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to escape, though. Maybe they weren't on the same page. Abdul tried to go back in. He runs into Galio. Great flash, though, coming out of you-know-who-it-is, 77. Barely escapes with his life. But this is like the macro play, the synergy that we always see out of Hickman. They're rotating as a team, forcing matchups where they just have a numbers advantage that turns into a 3v2, 2v1 situation there. And Battle isn't able to take any initiative here. They're trying. I will admit, they're trying. We see a lot of ganks coming out of Ruling Ocean, but it seems like Hickman's always one step ahead.
Hickman, led by Coach Ben Bruce, they're doing the exact right thing. We see a very odd jungle versus support skirmish in the bot lane, but what I was trying to say is Coach Ben Bruce has taught them very well, because once the bottom lane pushes that first tower down, it's the responsibility of the AD carry and the support to rotate top lane, especially if they're ahead, which they definitely are. Meanwhile, Abdul Wahid, he is also ahead in kills and CS, so it's a smart move to trade these lanes so that they can finally push down not just the bottom turret, but the top turret as well, get the rest of the team back on their feet. Which would be Tim Peters, who isn't doing poorly by any means, but he's just slightly behind the enemy top laner.
And that's kind of what we expect to see out of Hickman. They found a lead in the bot lane, they secured that tower, and then they're trying to rotate as a team, forcing those numbers advantages across the map. And Battle's doing a pretty good job of trying to respond. They're not just sticking to their traditional lanes, they're trying to roam as well, even up the matchups. And so right now we see Hickman currently on the Dragon buff. This is the Earth Drake. It gives them bonus damage to other neutral monsters like other dragons, as well as damage to towers and structures. This is a pretty good dragon for late game. Ooh, we see Cameron flying in to steal it with his Zac. Great
lands
pickup.
A three-man ultimate as well. He knows he's going to die, but it was very well worth it. Jumping in there and stealing the dragon away from Hickman High School.
The rest of Battle is trying to flee, just escaping almost with their life. Klein does escape. Looks like Polly is as well. Oh, not quite. Alec flashes to secure the kill on Polly. That's 2 kills going over to Hickman, but Battle does secure the objective.
That is the second flash into turret kill we've seen from the mid laner, Alec Alejero. He is now 5 kills, 0 deaths, and 7 assists. Quite the scary champion to play against right now. But going back a little bit, Ruling Ocean, that would be Cameron Clapp, made a fantastic dragon steal, so they're still ahead in dragons, and the game continues to be not so...
I'd say that trade did go in favor of Hickman High School. While Cameron did secure that kill, 2 members of Battle do go down, and that allows Hickman High School to pick up the turret, the outer tier turret in the mid lane, and they also rotated to this next neutral objective, being the Rift Herald, the giant turtle-looking bug creature. Oh, great pickup by Abdul. I will say this is something that not a lot of people might know, but we're going to finish this fight first.
Jumping in is Cameron. Ruling Oceans yet again able to secure the escape.
Yeah, and if you think about how amazing this is, these team fights are going so long that Cameron died at the Dragon Pit. He was able to respawn and then return for this next engagement. It's 11-12 right now with a slight goalie going in favor of Hickman. They're up by 1 tower, but this game is pretty close.
I think it's really close, and because we typically see high school play going beyond your 20, 30 minutes.
We're seeing a tower dive coming out for Battle. They pick up a clean kill on Tom Lawless. Sir Klein, Nathaniel, he's currently 4-1. He's getting real strong. Cameron, though, ends up making an odd decision to try to engage. He's going to be able to escape. Ooh, Alec misses up his dash. Looks like Battle's going to get out clean there.
As I was saying earlier, even though Hickman currently has the slight gold advantage with 2 towers, 2 battles, 1, I still think the Dragons are very, very important as we approach late game.
So here we are. We see right now, back a couple of minutes, it was a while ago, Hickman has started the Earth Drake objective. Battle's trying to angle themselves on the outside, and we actually are seeing a real big fight going in the mid game here. As you already know, Cameron actually secures the dragon in the pit, but we can't finish that replay here because we're seeing another huge engage going on in the mid lane. Hickman High School is collapsing on Battle. They're trying to take down the mid-tier tower. Great flash by Cameron to try to escape from this fight. Looks like Sir Client has already gone down, as well as Pauly.
But he
Cameron
will
gonna be able to
get
escape.
caught.
He does go down.
Yeah, you can't run from a sped-up charging centaur. Just gonna that's just how it works in this game. But we cut the instant replay, again, brought to you by Veterans United, short because of that last team fight you just witnessed. 3 kills going in favor of Hickman High School. They have now laid down that Rift Herald buff, which is that crab-like giant monster that they took down not too long ago. His special ability is taking down towers at a very fast speed. And let's see how Battle responds to both the Rift Herald and this very aggressive mid laner, Alec.
Well, it looks like they're trying to tower dive here. Actually, it doesn't look like it. I was incorrect, but they do pick up the second tier mid tower. Rift Herald deals a little bit of damage to the inhibitor tower of Battle High School. Battle's trying to re-engage, though, on Hickman. Galio's coming with his ultimate, knocks up 3 members of Battle. On top of the knockup coming out of the Scion, both members of Battle are real low. They're trying to escape, while other members are still trying to engage. Abdul dealing a lot of damage on that Garen pick, the big sword wielder. They're picking up multiple kills on Hickman. Both Alejero and Tom go down. Battle's trying to clean up the rest of the kills.
And that comes a triple kill for Garen, played by Abdul Wahid.
Yeah, as I said before, actually, he's actually a sibling. He's got multiple siblings who play this game. Anusa, as we said before, the A-team jungler. He also has an older brother, Muhammad, currently at Mizzou. I think he's learning biochemistry, something along those lines. Bioengineering, perhaps? But he's actually a Garen one-trick, so he's playing his older brother's favorite champion here right now, too.
Meanwhile, we have a re-engage coming in from both Nelmore and Tom Lawless. They are cleaning up the kills as we speak. They are able to take down Tim Peters. That's pretty good is his name in game. Nathan Nelmore running out of mana, letting that chase go by.
I can't keep up.
And Tom Lawless sees if he can clean up any kills. But overall, perhaps a slight overstay on behalf of Battle High School, or at least not expecting the re-engage, especially the flank from Nathan Nelmore playing Hecarim.
Yeah, as we said before, when characters die, they're dead for 30 seconds to a minute. They'll get longer and longer as this game goes on. And these fights, these little skirmishes are lasting so long that members go down and they're able to respawn and then re-engage in these fights. And it's pretty crazy. This is the kind of match that a lot of members in the League community, they would call this kind of a clown fiesta. And maybe not even a fiesta per se, as they're making very competent decisions. They're making good rotations, taking down the right objectives. But there's no breaks going on in this game. There's no breaks on this train.
Yeah, each team finding their own opportunities to engage hard into the enemy team, securing a lot of kills, and it just happens to flip the other way around the next minute we're watching. So again,
currently
crazy back and forth
17
action.
in favor of Hickman by 1 kill. They're up currently by about 2,000 gold and 2 towers. But I think Battle's still in a position to win fights. And they're dealing a lot of damage, like we said before. Probably a little bit more damage than Hickman.
Yep.
They just have the ability to respond very quickly around the map with their teams. So I think as long as Battle sticks together as 5, they won't be surprised. They won't be put in those 4v5 kind of situations. And I think they can win these team fights.
Tim Peters, that's pretty good, running away from this enemy team Battle who's trying to chase him down while Hickman was attempting to take the next dragon objective, but they have lost technical ground control right now. Let's see how they're going to play this out. Whether or not they'll give the dragon objective is very doubtful, but I wanted to go back.
We see them pinging the Baron currently.
Yeah. If they go for this Baron, that would be a very aggressive play. Baron, of course, is the objective in the north side of the map. Looks like Ruling Oceans, the jungler, is deciding to chase the top laner who happens to be bottom lane right now, which means he's not around that Baron objective, which also means Hickman is in a prime position to steal, or I'm sorry, to just take this prime objective right now, which when they do kill him, grants the minions superpowers and
Battle doesn't even know. They don't have the vision, they don't have the words to even know this objective is going on.
Fantastic take by Hickman High School.
In return, though, looks like Battle's going to pick up their 3rd Drake of the game. Another Earth Drake, but in the end, that trades a positive win over to Hickman High School. So they did sacrifice Tim, ADAS pretty good, Peters in the top lane. He was kind of the bait to bring battle bot lane while Hickman High School was able to secure the Baron.
I would argue that we won't actually know yet if that Baron was worth it, depending on how they move on the map right now. If they can push down another objective, yes. However, trading that for an Earth Drake might not be the best decision, especially when it comes to late game, and going off the fact that Ari, Sir Klein, and Icy Mr. Lamb both have fantastic wave clear. We might not see any objectives taken at all from Hickman. So a really big toss-up right now.
We'll see how
this game
Battle
just
responds.
gets closer and closer.
And normally, a Baron is one of the late game kind of checkpoints that teams kind of check off that they want to get if they want to close out a game. But I agree, like you said before, Battle kind of has the tools to respond to it. So if they play this appropriately, they might come away positive. Again, right now it's 17-17 with a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Hickman. But Battle's pretty strong. You know who it is, 77. He's currently 6-0-3. Very, very strong on this Garen pick right now.
Forces a flash off of Tom Lawless, but they've got enough firepower to take down and shut down the top laner while Abdul now using the Baron buff to push down the second-tier top lane turret. This is exactly what Hickman wants to do with that temporary Baron buff they've got right now. And we're seeing an odd push by the AD carry of Battle. He should be backing up right now to defend the turret, seeing if he can do something about this ever-charging team that's taking towers, taking inhibitors, potentially jump in from Cameron Ruling Oceans. He's going to land a double-man ultimate. Everyone's engaging, disengaging at the same time. Tom Lawless staying alive this time, able to take down 2 champions himself, as well as Nathan Nelmore securing 1 kill. This is a huge opportunity for Hickman High School to take a lot of objectives. You see now they have a 45,000 gold total and slight advantage on Battle High School.
I think this might be game here, actually. Yeah. Very well could be with the Baron buff. Now, unfortunately, Battle had a great engage, multiple ultimates coming out, but I will say Abdul was still dead. It was still a 4v5 situation. Another engage coming out of Cameron. He's trying to wrap some people up.
Gets the double knock up and secures the double kill. This is huge. This gives Breeze life into Battle's game plan right now. He's going for the 3rd kill right now, using his flubber-like abilities to chip away at the very tanky top laner, Tim Peters. That's pretty good. Does so yet again, sticking the 2 together as Abdul charges into the ranks, throws down his Q, and secures the kill again.
It's just back and forth.
It is back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. An exciting game all around.
We didn't really get to it before, but so Hickman High School, they were able to, actually we're going to see the replay real quick here. Huge engage coming out of Cameron. He gets a huge knockup on top of Sona's ultimate. They're locking down all these teammates, but unfortunately, it's a 4v5 situation. Battle just doesn't have enough people to kill anyone. So in return, after they use all their abilities, Hickman High School is able to pick up multiple kills, and Battle has to split apart, and Hickman High School picks up. So if you guys don't know what inhibitors are, it's another one of those late game checkpoints that teams like to check off. When they break into the base and they kill these things called inhibitors, it'll start spawning super minions. So super little red or blue guys in that lane that are pretty hard to kill, making it a lot easier for that team to keep pushing.
Again, fantastic replay brought to you by one of our sponsors, Veterans United. Thank you so much for making this possible. Let's talk about that team fight, though. Every time Hickman has lost or Battle has lost, we've seen the AD carry die very fast.
Yep, and I think that's a huge part of why Battle's kind of struggling a little bit here. Currently, Kobe, Icy Mr. Lamb, he only has 1 completed item. So now Sivir, your marksman, we're seeing another engage in the mid lane. Polly throws out her ultimate, stuns 1 person, but Battle High School right now, they're split. There's multiple engages going on in the middle of the lane, in the bottom river of the lane, and Abdul, he's just going in on his Garen pick, spinning around, dealing damage. He's pretty tanky right now. Another engage coming out of Cameron, Ruling Ocean, finds the pickup on Nelmore. On the flip side, though, with 2 members of Battle chasing pretty deep, we're seeing the fight still extended going on in the middle of the lane.
Nobody dead just yet. We're seeing fights going all across the map, spanning the middle lane and bot side river. Finally, we have our first death in that whole team fight. Re-engage comes from Cameron Ruling Oceans, using again his flubber-like abilities to slow and stick the enemies together. Meanwhile, Abdul chipping away, and a huge engage coming from Nathan.
He actually recalled in the middle of this fight just to get back into this fight with fuller health. So that's pretty big. Actually, Kobe, Icy Mr. Lamb, he's currently in their base trying to clear waves at those super minions that we said before they spawned. He's trying to clear those waves, defending his base. Cameron Rolling Ocean's also trying to recall to help him out there. Multiple members of Battle going down, while only Tom Lawless goes down for Hickman High School.
So something I'd like to see more from this Battle High School team is using their team composition to protect their squishy champions. This would be Sir Klein, Icy Mr. Lamb, and Polly, all playing very low health, high damage, high support champions. Meanwhile, we've seen somebody like Cameron Day and Waleed chasing the backline, whereas one of them really should be standing with their squishies to protect them.
That was just one. I don't even know if we could call that a team fight. That was kind of multiple skirmishes going on in the same area there. Seeing another re-engage coming out of Battle. Both members of them have respawned, and they're going to pick up a kill on Tim. And it's just a classic game of, hey, we're going to overstay, we get some kills, we're going to find some objectives. And Battle now has the kill lead, 24-23, although they are falling behind in towers. The gold lead is still very minimal, about 2K gold in favor of Hickman High School. But, yeah, it's just back and forth.
Yep, team fights going back and forth. And this is where we talk about how wise you get at this game, knowing when you've got a lead and pushing just the right amount before you have to back to retain that lead. We're not seeing that coming from both sides right now. They are actually getting re-engaged quite often as we approach our fourth Drake, potentially going in favor of Battle.
But something we don't see, though, is that their base, it's about to go down to Super Minions. They already lost one of their Nexus towers to these Super Minions, and they're about to lose another one.
So the term for that kind of play when minions are taking down the Nexus is called winions. They are quite powerful, especially with the super minions spawning in the top lane, chunking down at least one turret and almost taking out the second, which means they've got an exposed base at this point. They've got to turtle and defend their Nexus turret, or else the game's over.
Yep. Oh, is it going to go down? Oh, Abdul saves it just barely. He has to teleport in to defend his base. But yeah, like I said before, that inhibitor's a pretty big deal. Kind of like adding almost a sixth member to the Hickman squad, meaning the Battle has to separate to respond to these minions. That inhibitor will respawn very shortly, though, and we're going to see how Hickman utilizes this time. Multiple objectives are pretty low on Battle side, both the mid inhibitor tower and the last Nexus tower. Looks like they're going to opt to push in the bot lane, trying to spread Battle across the map. On the other side, though,
Battle High School aiming to take down this Baron buff. This could be huge if they do secure this kill. This would mean if they recall, all of their minions would spawn with super abilities or power-ups, I would say, able to defend their inhibitor and Nexus more easily.
What is Abdul? Well, okay, so
meanwhile, Abdul attempting a 1 versus 5 situation. He goes in twirling his giant great sword, not really doing much, but Baron does
allow their team to recall a little bit quicker. Battle's going to re-engage on the rest of the members of Hickman. Huge ultimate coming out from Alejero, saving multiple members of their team. Multiple members in this entire game are just so tanky. No one's gone down yet.
Kobe, Icy, Mr. Lamb finally joining the team fight. Meanwhile, Abdul still chucking away his greatsword at the enemy team. Another huge jump in. This looks pretty good for... Oh, no, not until Nathan Nelmore charges straight in.
Oh, no. Tim ends up hitting the destroyed turret previously.
Huge.
They find an ace.
Absolutely huge in favor of Battle High School. We're going to see what exactly comes of this ace. That's 5 deaths, 0 deaths for Battle, 5 deaths for Hickman High School. And are they going to push for the win?
Yeah, I'd say the most unfortunate thing about that fight there was Hickman High School did not secure the inhibitors. Both of Battle's inhibitors have respawned, meaning they have pressure now on this map. With an ace coming out of Hickman High School, multiple members of their team are now dead, meaning that Battle can push down in any lane they want for free, and they're probably going to pick up at least an inhibitor in the mid lane.
Death timers are starting to spawn the Hickman High School as they try to retaliate from this very aggressive push with the empowered minions. Thanks to Baron buff, Battle decides to rotate up to the top lane in efforts to take down more towers and inhibitors, hoping to get 2 lanes of super minions.
And this was just a big swing in favor of Battle. Some of that has to do with the timing. Inhibitors spawned at the right time for Battle, right when they got the ace. They don't have to worry about super minions split pushing on the side lanes, and they can just group now with the team.
Abdul being a little cheeky flashes out of that fight, but re-engages with their team right now. Huge jump in coming from Cameron Ruling Oceans, who secures The kill on Tom Lawless, the 80 carry, huge damage taken away from Hickman High School. The chase continues with Cameron diving onto the enemy jungler. They have 3 deaths on Hickman squad. Make that 4, make that 5. Another ace in favor of, oh, not yet. In favor of Battle High School as they take the top inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself. This looks like a victory in favor of Battle. Let's see if they slinch this up. Yeah, there's no more champions respawning. They've got free reign on these Nexus turrets and the Nexus itself. Again, 2 Mountain Drakes coming in very handy as they take the last objectives with Baron buff. Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic game by both sides. Give it up for Battle B team as they come back and secure the win. Holy moly.
I'd say this game was more like a ticking time bomb.
Oh my gosh.
Like a lot of trades going back and forth. Hickman did a very good job early on utilizing their global ultimates. But for the most part, like we said before, I think Battle had a stronger team composition. They had more characters that scaled, that just dealt more damage.
Yep.
As we saw in those fights, everyone was tanky. Everyone had so many resistances, so much health, so much armor, so much magic resist, and no one was going down except for the carries. And without your carries, you can't kill tanks. And I think Cameron Ruling Ocean did a great job. Abdul, El Walid doing a great job getting to the enemy backliners of Hickman High School and taking them out. And because of that, they were able to start winning fights later on. When Hickman couldn't force advantages where they had 4v1, a numbers advantage, they weren't able to win these fights as well. They just didn't have the damage.
For sure. You did call that out. The team composition's damage favored for Battle High School. Those long engages, even though Hickman wasn't going down very quickly, they weren't able to dish out a lot of damage very quickly. So ultimately, they do win most of the team fights. That big Baron secure was critical in their success for winning and pushing down the Nexus at that point in the game, as well as those 4 dragons, which again, 2 Mountain Drakes means lots of damage on turrets. 1 Fire Drake means lots of damage on champions. And of course, the Ocean Drake, which supplies more health regeneration and mana regeneration during all these long back and forth exchanges. So again, fantastic game. I'm very excited to witness the A-Team games playing next, but we've got an intermission, correct?
Correct. With that, we're going to jump into about a 15-minute break. We'll play a couple of ads. We're going to do maybe a giveaway here. I know we said before we want to see the exclamation point giveaway in the Twitch chat, and we're going to come back to you guys in about 15 minutes with the A-Team games between Hickman and Battle High School. So don't click away from your browsers. We'll be right back.
Take a quick second. Going back to that last game, by the way, Abdul was a phenomenal Garen. And I know you said that he is a one-trick, but...
No, actually, technically he's not. His older
really
brother, his older brother is actually a one-trick, so he's following in his footsteps of his older brother there, playing Garen. And
he did everything right. Beefy, tanky, and even a little bit of damage coming out of that. But let's move on. We've got our first ban. Instant ban comes the Darius targeting Michael Zhou. That is Dark Quacker, who is a one-trick Darius. And the reverse one-trick ban comes out against Jared Lovelace of the top lane battle squad. He plays Akali.
Oh, he played her amazingly last week and ended up wreaking havoc on all the backliners of Drifting City High School. As an assassin, that's his job, kill the carries, and he did it. That's really all I can say to that. It's unexpected, I guess, to say the least, as he was actually a sub up until now. I think he's been promoted to the starting position on the Battle's A-Team roster. Actually, for the most part, this is week 3, and this is their 3rd iteration of their A-Team roster. Continuously having to deal with subs, with scheduling conflicts. Sometimes it's a GPA issues, but we know those kids are getting their grades up. Very excited to play throughout the season.
Absolutely. And
this is again a whole new team for Battle, and they've overcome some adversity here, picking up a win last week, and they're trying to pick up the second one of the season here.
For sure. Next up, we have a couple of bans. Zach, the flubber-like dude, is banned, and now Hickman decides to ban Vladimir. Again, targeted bans. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but these teams know each other to the T. They have been researching nonstop about their enemy, what their enemy champions' pools looks like. In this case, with the Vladimir ban, he is a Dracula figure. They were specifically targeting against Cameron Clapp, Ruling Oceans on Battle Squad. He is a Vladimir star, one of the top 100 Vladimirs in North America, apparently, according to op.gg, the League of Legends sorting website. We see a hover coming for Kai'Sa, and it is picked.
And she is the newest champion in the game League of Legends. She was just released less than 2 weeks ago. And the J4 pick, a comfortable pick for Bo. Again, we're just call him Bo. His name is Quet YVX, but we're just going to call him Bo because it's a little bit easier to say. In the game.
Quet YVX.
Yes, that's his real name is Bo, and he's picked up Jarvan the Fourth, a pick that he played very, very well in the first week. A good source of engage, good source of CC, and letting his team know, hey, we're going to go in right now. And I'm excited to see him play that champion again. Last week, he didn't pick J4, or Jarvan the Fourth, that's his official name. And we're going to see how he does on it this week.
Meanwhile, we see Abdul Walid picking up Volibear. Again, he did play in the first game for B team, but he is actually subbing up this week in place of his sister. So we'll see how he handles the jungle role, this time picking Volibear, a tumbling polar bear character that takes a bite out of any enemies that he encounters and flips over with his abilities.
So far for coming out for the battle squad, we see 2 tanks, Hidden Gamer 20, Jared, he's playing Malphite, Big Rock Monster, the Polar Bear like we said before, and the robot Orianna, kind of a comfortable pick for Cameron when he's not able to play the Orianna, or play his Vladimir. And she's got this ultimate that, again, it's going to be harder to explain right now. We'll kind of try to explain it more in-game when he does it, but it synergizes very well with teammates. Orianna's a pick that kind of can play at a whole nother level when he's in synergy and sync with his teammates. And he's got 2 teammates right now that kind of run forward that will hopefully kind of supplement those abilities that really Ocean's
For sure. That's the thing you see about high school eSports League compared to, say, your solo or playing by yourself. We're seeing every single pick being a contributing factor into the team composition. Both teams, we see a J4 and a Lux. We know there's going to be some ultimate combos right there, trapping everyone in a circle and then blowing them up with a beam of light. Same thing goes for the battle side with a Orianna Shockwave pulling everyone together, followed by a Malphite ultimate that knocks everyone up. Again, synergy going across all lanes, whereas if you're playing solo or at home by yourself, you're not really thinking about your other teammates. You're just thinking, oh, hey, what champion do I want to play? Yeah, I'll pick this guy. Meanwhile, both coaches and both teams know that they need to synergize in these team fights to pull out ahead because this is ultra competitive environments. Again, ladies and gentlemen who are watching at home, if you do not know this, this is the nation's first live LAN high school esports league in the nation.
Yeah, Jan, I was just about to say this. Unfortunately, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was going to predict the Janna ban coming out. I think it's a great pick for both teams. Both rosters right now are picking very heavy engage kind of compositions. And Janna is a support that we've seen multiple times. We know Sean, the support for Rockbridge, really loves this Janna pick. And she does a lot of damage. She does a lot of damage early on in the lane and disengages very, very well. And that's just the kind of pick that you kind of want to see when both teams are picking comps that kind of go forward. Personally, actually, I would have almost suggested more disengage coming out of these last 2 picks for both teams. Maybe, let's see here, the Braum was still up. A pick that we saw last game has a lot of disengage. Even for mid lane for Ruling Ocean, he also has a pretty good Azir. Azir has a lot of disengage and also scales and does a lot of damage. Those are picks I would have thought to have seen early on, but that hindsight's 2020.
Right. I mean, seeing last pick Kale.
I think that's going to be a top lane Kale for Hickman High School, putting Dark Quacker on a more carry-oriented champion here. I know last week he ended up playing more of a tank. Actually, both last 2 weeks he played tankier picks, and they're putting him on kind of the exact opposite here. In a sense, Kale can be that kind of hyper carry that's...
Yeah, especially when it comes to late game. Absolutely. We heard a few oohs and ahs as that last Kale pick was selected. Coach Ben Bruce is probably plotting something with this top laner, trying to mix it up this time, not picking a tankier champion like we saw last week. Was it Cho'Gath? No, that was the week before.
Yeah,
Sion was last week. This time they are alting for a more aggressive, a more damage-heavy top laner for Dark Quacker, who, again, for those of you who are not up on the High School Esports League from Ukatsu, he is a Diamond 1 top laner, so
he's in the top
quite an experienced player.
He's less than in the top 1%. He's really, really good at this game.
Yeah.
And it usually shows. Most teams and coaches usually have to plan around the top lane. How do we respond to Michael? How do we at least get our laners in a position that they can go even and not feed him? Because we've seen it before. Michael will run away with this game if he gets the chance.
I like the Volibear pick for this jungler because we've seen multiple times where Volibear has successfully ganked Michael in the top lane if he's pushing out far ahead. Kayle, of course, is one of the champions who, if you don't play League of Legends, she is a guardian angel type of character, able to slash her sword and deal flame damage from quite a few feet away. That means that this lane, the minions are going to die a lot faster, and that lane's going to push up, meaning there is an opportunity for Abdul to come in for a gank, hopefully to aid Jared Lovelace up in the top lane playing the Rock Monster Malphite. Hopefully he doesn't give anything away, and I don't think he will.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good pick, putting him on the tank. Less likely for him to go down a lot easier kind of champion to play here. But for the most part, I don't think Hickman High School, we want to highlight the J4s. They're having the Fourth and the Lux coming out of both How and Bo. They played this synergy very, very well week one. Multiple engages coming out over and over, and it's what really turned the team fights in favor of Hickman. And, well, of course, Michael's the big talk of the team. We see Matthew Gosubot and Renee Cookie in the bot lane. Also, they're usually the primary carries of the Hickman High School squad. Michael's in there to disrupt other people to do the engages, and usually Gosubot's the one that scales and deals a lot of the damage. But How and Bo, again, they weren't on the rosters last year, but they were really, really fun to watch in Game 1, and they're back now on those comfort picks. So we're going to see what they can do in this game. On the flip side, though, Battle at least has a very good team identity, a lot of picks to move forward. We see the Malphite, the Volibear to engage, along with the Orianna. Along with those combinations together, deal a lot of damage and can disrupt picks like the Lux. And, of course, the scaling AD carry in Polly playing Vayne. And I'm hoping to see a lot of team fights again. Let's see if Battle can respond a little bit better than Jeff City could in week 1 to these crazy engages that Hickman has. They don't have a lot of disengage, though, so it's going to be up to Evan to stay in that back line with the Soraka. He did very well last week. He never really went down, able to heal his teammates over and over again. And if he can position well, Battle might be in a position to turn these fights around. Because, and personally, I think Vayne's a better pick here than the Kaisa. If she doesn't get ahead early on, Vayne's going to run away with this game for damage.
I think the bank for Hickman is actually to, again, like you said, get an early lead for Matthew Perkins playing Kaisa in the AD carry slot tonight. Again, early game, they want that bot lane to win. But they've got the insurance pick for Kayle top, where we're going to see some 2v1s, 3v1s, and crazy split push potential coming from Michael Zhou, the Dark Quacker all-star for Hickman High School. One thing I wanted to point out is I spoke to Coach Ben Bruce for Hickman High School not too long ago, and he has been nothing but happy for the inclusion of their new jungle, Bo and How, the mid laner. He says at first they weren't sure how communications were going to hold up compared to the exhibition match teams that we saw earlier in fall of 2017. But he says since they've joined, they've been nothing but eager to play, to practice, to communicate, and to work together to defeat any of their opponents.
Because there's definitely a language barrier there, right, between these teammates of Ho and Bao. English isn't their first language.
It's Bo and How, by the way. All right, here we go. Game is starting up in our varsity match between Hickman and Battle High School. Looks like standard starts as usual. Stepping into the jungle entrances to make sure nothing sketchy is going on.
I actually didn't ask you before. I already know my prediction is, but again, Joe, which team do you favor coming out on top in this last game of the night for week 3?
All right, I'll frame it a little bit differently this time. If the game goes past 35 minutes, that is, I would say Battle's going to win this. And if it does not, I will say Hickman goes under 35.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to actually put it in the other direction here.
Cool.
Because, again, like I said, Vayne's a very scaling AD carry. On the flip side, though, so is Kayle. Dark Quacker is an excellent player, and now he's given a little bit more tools, the keys to the car, so to say, that he's playing a carry. He's no longer playing a tank. He's not playing necessarily the initiator for his team, but he's playing the champion that can just shred every single person on the other team. I don't know if anyone else out there has played against a Fed Kayle, but if you don't have the CC, if you aren't able to play around her, she has the AoE and the attack speeds just rip through everyone. And we know as a Diamond 1 top laner, he has the positioning and the the instincts, the intuition, the experience to be able to play that champion.
For sure. Let's see if they pull off a split push comp successfully. I want to highlight a very important matchup, or at least a very important positional game involving both the bot lane supports. That would be Evan Young for Battle High School and Renee Tellman for Hickman High School. I'm very curious to see who dies first in a team fight, because whoever does, I would tip the scales in the other team's favor. And it's going to be huge. Soraka is a healing champion, as you see right there, as he just tossed a heal to Charbel playing Vayne right now. There's a small trade going on, by the way. Meanwhile, Renee Tellman playing a Gust Wind Elemental character. She's floating across the screen right now, also delivering a lot of shields and knockups and general peel for the AD carry. I'm very curious to see how they play, because whoever wins that matchup is going to win the game, I think.
And supports don't get enough love, but they're the ones that are going to be keeping their carries alive here. So, and shout out to Evan and Renee. Supports, we all appreciate you very much. AD carry mains out there, tip your supports.
Give them the honor.
So in the mid lane, we're seeing a couple of trades coming out. Cameron, Ruling Ocean, has a little bit of pressure. They're both control mages here, able to, as you say, control the space with their abilities. And he's getting positive trades on how in the mid lane here.
As well as a slight advantage in terms of CS, but meanwhile, up in the top lane, hidden gamer, that is Jared Lovelace versus Dark Quacker Michael Zhou. Another big early CS differential, mostly attributed to the champions that they've picked. Malphite, again, that big rock monster. Huge first blood coming out from the bot lane. Charbel picking up the first kill of the game. Teleport coming in from Michael Zhou, hoping to clean up the kill right now. He will. Maybe even a double kill, and we might be witnessing very early stages of a heavy snowball coming from Michael Zhou, Dark Quacker. 2 kills in the first 4 minutes. That is rough for Battle. Let's see how they bounce back from this.
I'm going to get a sense of deja vu here. This is the 3rd week in a row that we've seen Michael TP teleport towards the bot lane, and I'd be kind of sick of it as a bot laner here.
Yeah.
So he teleports to the bot lane. Polly does pick up the first blood onto Matthew, but in response, Michael comes in and picks up 2 kills in return. And that's just for, he's a hyper carrier. He's going to scale and get stronger and stronger. And with those 2 kills, he's going to snowball. So even though he is a, let's see here, he's got a sword, so he looks kind of like a melee character. He has an ability that allows him to extend his range and deal AoE, area of effect damage, while he swings his blade. And Malphite, on the other hand, the big rock guy, he's pretty much melee. He just sits there and smacks things with his fists. He can kind of throw a rock every once in a little bit like that, but he can't reach Kale. And with Kale getting 2 kills up ahead, already ahead in CS, he's just going to get bullied out of the lane over and over again. And let's see if Jared can handle it.
And we'll also see how Abdul reacts to the now pressure in the top lane, followed by the advantage in the bottom lane. Normally, Vayne not the champion that wins the early game trades, but apparently so in this case.
Yeah. Definitely odd. I think Jaina has a lot more pressure early on in lane compared to the Soraka. And I would have expected Kaisa to come away with the early kill. On the flip side, though, again, Vayne is a scaling AD carry. It's similar in the sense that Kale is a scaling mage, per se. But, yeah, first kill going over to Polly, 2 kills going over to Michael. It's going to be an interesting game in the late game if we can get there. I personally hope we get to the 35-minute mark.
Absolutely. So now with the scales tipped in favor for Battle in the bottom lane, but then tipped in favor of Hickman in the top lane, we now can talk about middle lane. That would be Cameron Clapp playing the character of Oriana under the summer name Ruling Ocean, as well as Hao playing Lux, the light character right there, throwing out a couple spells and abilities. Currently, the gold difference in that middle lane is quite substantial, 37 CS to 22. That means Cameron has successfully last hit the minions more often than Hao. So we'll see who gets that advantage and uses that advantage to roam into the other lanes to push either Michael or Abdul or Jared or the bot lane out.
Yeah, like you said before, actually, talking about pushing the minions in, Michael's done that multiple times. He's now roaming down into the river, taking the Scuttle Crab, one of the neutral monsters that grants vision in the river. He's got so much freedom. He's currently up by almost 30 CS, and he's got so much freedom in that top lane. And like we said before, we already saw 1 TP. I expect him to really put his presence on the map. Lots of teleports, lots of roams, and caused a lot of havoc on Battle's roster. On the flip side, we're seeing a little slower jungle start for both the Jarvan IV, both Bo and Abdul. We haven't seen any ganks yet. And
both being very reserved, not wanting to commit too hard into one of these lanes, fearing that they might not be enough damage just yet to secure a kill. Instead, they're going to farm up their jungle, get more gold, get more experience, and of course, get more items as a result. Slower start than the B team game that we saw ahead, but I would say a 4-minute teleport is not too slow.
Mm-hmm.
If I were any team playing against Hickman, Hickman's A squad, I would want to ban, not a champion, I would want to ban teleport.
I think that's interesting to say. They did take away the Galio, which we saw Alec play in the game before. A lot of that global pressure allows them to macro very well across the map. And that's one of the picks we normally see. We see a Shen often coming out of Darkwacker in the games that we've at least played against Michael. Not as relevant right now, per se, but those are the kind of picks that Hickman likes a lot.
Small cheeky trades coming in the bot lane. Both Polly and Evan versus Gosu Bot and Cookie. Nothing too committal right now. The CS differential is going in favor of Matthew Perkins. Gosu Bot playing Kai'Sa, the Void champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both junglers, though, on the map, very close in CS, clearing their camps. None of them have ganked yet, so it's very good to see that none of them are falling behind each other. I think that's a synergy that we're going to see later on towards the mid game. We're going to see a lot more of the J4 Lux combos. Actually, we missed.
Yeah,
there.
Just as we panned away, we had Cameron Ruling Oceans getting a kill on How in the mid lane. J4 jumps in thinking he can clean up, but makes the mistake
from Battle.
Does not realize that Abdul is right there. Flash from Abdul to get away from another TP from Michael Darkwacker. He does not pick up any double kills this time around. Beautiful stun coming in from Charbel. Lands a few abilities. Ultimate coming in as well for both Michael and Renee. Very good disengage ultimates.
And I am very, very impressed by Battle right now. Normally, we've seen every single high school slow on their response when it comes to ganks and rotations, but Battle was right there. Even Hidden Gamer, who's currently down by 40 CS, he roams down to the mid lane, gets a huge ultimate, allowing him to pick up a kill on the enemy Jarvan IV Bo. Battle turns that into a dragon as well.
Just like that again, just like in the first game, first dragon goes in favor of Battle High School. That is Inferno Drake, which means once they have killed that, they get a permanent buff, and that buff gives them extra damage for their next team fights.
I'm sad we missed it. We knew Cameron Ruling Ocean was trading very well in the mid lane, but he solo killed Hal before that fight. Bo comes in, Jarvan IV try to find the re-engage, but the rest of the Battle responds. We see another teleport though coming in from Michael, but they don't pick up a kill in return.
Right. Cameron Clapp now 1-0-1. That means 1 kills, 0 deaths, 1 assist. Advantage over Hao Huang, who is playing Lux in the mid lane. We're going to see him now pushing out that lane probably, attempting to find some extra ganks in the bot lane, tipping that scales in favor for his team.
Yeah, I like to see this. A lot more pressure around the mid lane. We're seeing people focusing, we're seeing people roaming, and that's where Battle needs to play around. Whether everyone agrees or not, Cameron Ruling Ocean is the carry of this team, and he excels the most when he's given these resources, and his team is playing around that. So a lot of times I think a lot of teams try to respond to Michael, maybe they're doing ganks in the top lane, and we've seen multiple engages come around where it's like a 4v1 situation. The entire team's trying to kill Michael, and they can't do it. And, I like this response. They're not even worried about Michael. They're going to play around the rest of the map, get everyone else ahead. Oh, great damage coming out of the Orianna Ruling Ocean.
Meanwhile, on Hickman's side, we see Matthew Perkins as well as Renee Tellman pushing down that tower, doing a lot of chip damage while Bo quietly sits in the bush, hoping to find a gank out of this stay, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. He's almost wasted a lot of time instead of farming up his jungle by sitting in this bush.
Uh-oh, J4 coming in for a great flash coming out of Polly. Unfortunately, the ultimate from J4 locks him in. Vane's trying her best to take down Jarvan IV, but they do take down Evan instead. Polly is going to escape with his life. For a 3v2 situation. Oh, huge ultimate coming in for Matthew. He doesn't quite survive.
Oh, beautiful flash. Dance. I take all that back. I take all that. Bo, you're a genius, Bo. He patiently waiting in that bush, flashing for that ultimate, baits the flash from both, or just from Charbel. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see another gank coming out. Volley Bear flipping over. Ultimate coming out from Michael Joe. Dark Quacker as he becomes invincible. Camera, please. Gets the kill on Jared Lovelace, but then falls victim to, of course, Abdul.
Yeah, that's a one-for-one trade. They do get a shutdown, though, in the top lane on Michael, but Hickman High School bot lane do respond with the tower. And for those of you guys who don't know, Matthew goes to bot very well. He's a very aggressive player. We see him jump forward all the time. And Kaisa is a new AD carry that kind of rewards that. So Kaisa used her ultimate to dash on top of Pauly there, giving him a shield, allowing him to secure that kill, and then Cookie uses her ultimate to help him survive the tower shots, meaning that Hickman High School picked up 2 kills in the bot lane.
And just like that, we see the first bits of that combo. Bo as J4 using his ultimate to trap all of his enemies, and Hao wasn't even there to deliver a Lux ultimate. We just had Matthew Perkins wailing with his with his abilities, his void spikes and all that. Securing the kill, making a great aggressive play. I hope we have a recording of that to use later.
Yeah, that new ability on Kaisa, I think the name is called a Cathian Rain. I just love the name of that ability. He shoots a lot of missiles out. That's what allowed Hickman High School to get the tower early on in the bot lane. Does a lot more wave clear. Oh, huge trade coming out of Michael. He's just going to take down Pauly. I don't think Charbel's going to be able to survive this. He does, though, with the help of his ultimate. And, of course, Evan.
He's going in again, but he does not.
Wow.
Underestimating the damage coming out of Michael Joe. He's probably going to pick up a double kill right here. Does so for sure. Now 5 kills, 1 death, and 0 assist. He has swapped lanes with their AD carry and support, and he's on a tear now. He's going to begin his split push comp, which is going to be very annoying for Battle to handle, which we don't see very much success from our high school teams.
So we see the lane swap coming out of Hickman High School. Looks like they're going to try to take down the top tier tower as well. Abdul tries to respond, ends up popping his passive. Looks like that tower is also going to go down in favor of Hickman. And this is what, actually, if we're being honest, this is kind of what we saw last week from the Rockbridge squad. They found a lead in the lane, they did the appropriate lane swaps, and they're trying to translate that pressure across the map. That's exactly what Hickman's doing right now to Battle.
And what's so fun about our high school eSports League is, to be honest, we didn't see this caliber of play coming from any of the players until they were all put on a team with a coach, with somebody as a third party to guide them through these macro plays. Lane swaps, tower dives, mid lane roams, none of this ever happened, or at least I didn't notice any of this from any of our high school or even middle school players until they are in this competitive environment, and it's so fun to watch this high caliber play.
Kale coming in with a gank onto Ruling Ocean, ends up knocking with the ultimate, but wow, actually, Gosubot ends up sniping away the kill away from Michael. We see 4 members of Hickman High School in the mid lane
Maybe he
now.
gave it to him. You never know.
Maybe they gave it to him.
That flash forward probably
we did miss it earlier, but Ruling Ocean does add the Rift Herald, the big turtle monster they picked up later on. Hickman High School, though, is currently grouped in the mid lane. They're trying to take down this tower. Battle's trying to respond. They just don't have the wave clear without Ruling Ocean, so Hickman's probably going to be able to take away this tower.
This Kale pick working in favor for Hickman High School. Kale currently with 125 CS compared to Jared Lovelace, Hidden Gamer, playing Malphite in the top lane with only 50. He's about to eclipse him by a good 100 CS pretty soon.
Flame Horizon.
The Flame Horizon, they call it.
Actually coined by one of the professional top laner, professional Korean top laner who's now in NA, Flame, who would always, not for the most part, always, but he'd pull ahead in CS by 100 or more across his lane opponents, and just being so dominant in lane. They find a pick on Jared coming out with the Lux. He gets real low. J4 knocks them all in.
There it is.
Darkwhacker picks up a kill on Jared. Lux, actually also picked up the kill on Abdul. They're in hot pursuit to finish off the rest of Battle. They can't escape. Ooh, Pauly almost picks up a kill. Good disengage by
Forces
Renee.
an ultimate for Renee Tellman, protecting the champions that stepped up just a little ahead. Michael Darkwhacker continues his pursuit, picks up another kill with very little mana to spare. He's on a tear right now. 8 kills, 1 death, 1 assist. Meanwhile, Matthew Gosu Perkins bot is just taking the dragon all by himself.
Yeah, and this is the scariest part about Michael. This is not a pick we have seen him play before. He's traditionally played kind of bruisers or tanks for his team, and just to the effect that he can engage very well, he knows when to go in. And now we see him on a carry. A hyper carry, very squishy, but just deals a lot of damage. And what do you do when a carry is that strong and positioned so well?
Well,
currently he's 8-1.
Yeah, with the gold lead in a huge favor for Hickman High School at this time, it's time for Battle to see how they can farm back up their gold differential. One way they're doing that right now is by dropping the Rift Herald in attempt to take middle turret right now. Not sure how much life that turret has left now. I see, okay, just about a little over half. If they are to get any more turrets, that would swing the gold lead a little bit back towards Battle's side.
Good engage by Bo. Ulting in comes the Lux, but a huge counter all coming in by Ruling Ocean. He's currently, though, trying to flee the rest of this fight. Gosubot does pick up 2 kills in return. He's currently 5-1. Kale has now entered the fight, popping her ultimate to make herself invulnerable. The last 3 members of Battle are trying to disengage here.
Pretty good condemns coming.
Gosubot with the snipe.
Kaiza, the new champion of League of Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Perkins taking advantage of this new champion pick and doing a fantastic job. Meanwhile, we see...
During the replay here, actually, we're seeing multiple members of Battle trying to take down the mid tower with the Rift Herald. Huge engage comes up by Bo, and the J4 followed up by Hao's ultimate. See it multiple times. Great disengage, though, coming out from Ruling Ocean. But the rest of Hickman High School is able to respond, and they try to clean up the rest of Hickman here. As we already know, getting back to the other... Cameron does go down, though. He's getting sniped by Gosubot, which he does pick up 3 kills in that fight. On the flip side now, though, Hickman is trying to respond in the bottom lane here. They're probably going to take this tower down. Gosubot's gotten very strong, currently 6-1.
It's great to see 2 AD carries who play without any fear. Just like that, Charbel says, you're 6-1, it's okay, I'm still going in on you. Meanwhile, Dark Quacker teleports in and gets punished heavily for that.
Yes.
As he meets 4 of Battle's players right in the face. And
I was very worried at first seeing this TP and they were trying to chase down the support. It's like, hey, you know, Michael's coming in. But they play that perfectly. That's how you beat a Kale. You got to CC chain her, stop her from attacking, play around her cooldowns, and Battle responded very well to that. That's a huge shutdown.
So despite the pretty big gold lead in favor for Hickman High School, we should not forget about Charbel, who's Polly's is his summoner name, playing Vayne, who not too long ago played, dealt a lot of damage to Gosubot in the mid lane. 1 or 2 shots took her down to half health. She will surely be a big factor. Another aggressive play from Gosubot gets punished again from Cameron Clapp.
Yep.
Cameron still with a pretty big gold lead against Hao in the mid lane. Yeah, he's fallen behind just a little bit, but he's still got some damage in his arsenal.
That's just like a tendency of Matthew here to engage on his own. He didn't really realize the other players were there. I thought he found a pick on Ruling Ocean. But he goes in, and he gets punished for it. And that's traditionally what Hickman tries to play around. We've seen them cover up each other's weaknesses by trying to protect Gosubot later on in these fights.
Now we see another engage coming in. Flashes out from Evan and Charbel.
Yeah, I think his flash, though, just came off cooldown. If not, then he flashed a little too late there. So the instant flash coming out of Polly to escape. But in the end, I guess he sacrificed his life to save Charbel.
That's a pretty scary thing to see both J4 and Kale chasing you down in a lane. We know Kale has an ability that can speed herself up to run down any champion she so sees fit, which was happening. Of course, Bo playing J4, the spear-wielding man that can summon or crash a crater down and trap all of his opponents. That's played a huge role in a lot of these team fights.
So getting the goal or the kill lead is currently in favor of Hickman, 16-7. They're only up though by about 5,000 gold. Not necessarily too far ahead yet. Oh. Cameron gets picked off in the death push of Hickman. And with that carry going down for Battle, Hickman's going to turn this into the Baron. That's unfortunate for Cameron. Face checking a unworded bush, and he gets punished pretty badly for it.
Looks like we do have a counter engage coming in from Battle High School, hoping to steal this Baron away, but slowly Hickman is chipping away at every single member of Battle, getting 4 kills on top chasing down the last kill. We know Gosubot's going to go for this one. Does pick up the double kill. Ace on Battle High School. Huge swing in favor for Hickman, not just with the ace, but with the Baron buff. Now pushing with a huge mid lane wave onto Tier 2 tower in the mid lane.
Yeah, Battle's getting a little bit desperate there. Understandable. We see this very snowballed Kale. Michael's very, very strong, so they had to try to make the play there. They didn't want Hickman to get the Baron, double or nothing. They ended up not paying off, though. Battle does secure the Baron, picks up 2 kills in return. It's 21-7 right now. Hickman High School does have Baron.
In instances like this, I would almost say I'd prefer a Fed Darius over a Fed Kale. I'm wondering if any of these teams are paying attention. We know Rockbridge High School, who's not playing tonight, have a few of their team captains watching this very fed top laner pursuing all champions on the map. I wonder if they're going to ban that next week.
Well, they set up their own little analyst desk in the back corner over here. Multiple laptops up, watching both games. That's the dedication we like to see. They're scouting out the competition.
Very great to see all teams equally supporting and also researching each other in a very competitive environment. Of course, the competition is for fun and ultimately a very great program for all high school students, a part of the league.
Wow, Dark Whackers just shreds half of Abdul's health. Again, he's a tank, so that shouldn't
be happening.
But Michael, again, very, very strong. 12-2-6. He's participated in 18 of the 21 kills in this game. They're currently on the Fire Drake. Battle's trying to respond. Are they going to get the steal here? They're just running in. Bo does pick up the dragon.
Another ultimate coming down, followed by a lot of damage coming in from Hao. Matthew Perkins trying to clean up the kills. He's targeting so hard right now against the enemy AD carry. Gets the kill, cleans up with Evan.
Yeah, we see the ultimate coming out of Kale, keeping him alive there. And that's just like the 1-2 punch that Hickman likes to deliver. Both Gosubot being the primary carry, Matthew on the other side. They're both so strong.
All teammates on Hickman contributing very heavily to these team fights. Not just with Michael in the top lane, but J4 locking down a lot of team members. That would be played by Bo in the jungle position, followed by Hal laying down a lot of AP damage. That's ability power. And of course, let's not forget our supports, currently 0-0 and 18, doing a perfect job right now.
Again, well, those characters, those players aren't getting the resources. They're the ones that are finding these engages, making it easier for the carries to get kills.
For sure, for sure. With their backs against the walls, it's now time for Battle to turtle and regain a little bit of gold by farming some minions. We're going to see what happens exactly in the late game phase, which we are slowly moving into right now. Again, Charbel, who is playing Vayne, and under the summer name of Polly, he's playing a character that really excels in the very late game, so they've still got a fighting chance. We're going to see what happens in terms of macro play from Hickman. Will they split push at this point? Will they use their advantages to get a pick, or just shove it down mid ARAM style?
I think Hickman has to make a lot of mistakes here to let Battle get back in this game. Kale, Michael, he currently has 3 completed items. The best Battle can do is put together 1 completed item here. It's looking pretty grim. Looks like Hickman has opted to run it down mid. Kale is basically just smacking away at the front line, not really getting punished for it. She just deals so much damage. On the flip side, all of Hickman's roster is now grouped in the mid lane. I do believe they're strong enough to do this. This isn't necessarily the most optimal decision, but they're going to try to team fight it, ARAM it out per se, and try to get the ace here to close the game.
Now slowly Michael rotating up to the top lane, hoping to push out that top wave into the inhibitor turret. He's going to do that very successfully because of his champion able to just clear waves very quickly. You see he's already moving along to the next wave, forcing Battle to respond. What do they do now? Do they split up? Do they stay together? Do they engage on the 4-man mid, or do they engage on the 1-man top? Either way, it's scary. It's a scary solution right now.
These are the strategies that teams like to implement. You know, it's part of the playbooks here. Split pushing, separating teams, and puts a Battle in position where they have to respond. So they're sending 3 members right now to respond to Michael in the top lane. It's not going to work. Looks like Michael's actually going to take down all 3. Not quite. Zonia's coming out for Michael, but he stalled long enough, though, for the bot lane. 4 people of Hickman's side to group down there instead. They're going to find a huge ultimate on Battle's bot laners. They end up both getting away, but they pick up the inhibitor for free.
So just like that, Michael taking all of the aggression in the top lane, forcing 3 of Battle's teammates to go up there to respond. They do get the kill, but meanwhile, the rest of the team is pushing bot wave. They secure the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself, now spawning super minions. It's going to be difficult for them to keep defending like this. They're running out of time to turtle, and at some point, Hickman will do some sort of crazy all-in dive, all-in aggressive act once they get their cooldowns back.
Pretty textbook at the moment. Like, once again, now that they have pressure in the bot lane, now they secure the bot lane inhibitor, super minions will spawn down there, allowing Hickman to split push across the map, kind of like we saw the B team do. And likely we're going to see them play around the Baron, the big monster, big neutral monster on the top side of the map. It's going to spawn in the next minute. That'll probably give Hickman the last tool they need to close out this game. Optimally, though, like you said before, taking different plays around this game. League of Legends isn't a game where you're just running at each other, using abilities and team fighting. I guess at lower elos, like bronze, silver, gold, you kind of see some of that stuff. But these teams who have a coach kind of teaches them how to play around the map, making up all these macro plays, and that's a split pushing thing that we talked about a little bit earlier. So, yeah, like I said before, Michael goes in top lane, takes away all that pressure, and Battle's forced to make a decision. Yeah,
like I said, before the league season started, we've watched every team grow into a very mechanically adept team, because we're seeing macro plays that we didn't normally see coming out of Hickman, Rockbridge, Battle, and even Jefferson City, thanks to the third-party coach that is a part of every single team in every single high school. Like, these rotations, they're killer, and they're exactly the way you should be playing these champions, especially when you have a lead like this. Hickman now dancing around Baron. They're getting ready to set up for the last Baron push, and with that, the Nexus.
And again, the carries on Hickman's side are very, very strong. I don't think Battle's going to be able to win the next team fight, so it's kind of just a formality here. Battles for Hickman High School has now started the Baron. Looks like Hickman's going to try to respond. We see a teleport coming in from the top lane.
And this is the last stand for Battle High School. We're going to see one final team fight, probably.
Huge disengage, though, by Renee Cookie, allowing her teammates to survive a little bit there. Unfortunately, though, the Lux How picks up a double kill with the ultimate. That's 2 members going down for Battle. The last-ditch effort there, try to steal the Baron away, give their team a fighting chance to wave clear. The last 3 members of Battle were currently in their base trying to wave clear.
For sure. Huge props to not just Michael Dark Quacker up in the top lane, but again, gets that last kill, and he's going to clean up yet again. With Gosubot, both playing very aggressively this game. But again, huge props to Michael Zoe, Bo, Howe, Matthew Perkins, and Renee Tellman.
Yeah.
All fewer than 10 deaths this game. Closing it out very fast in less than 30 minutes. Congratulations, Hickman High School, for your varsity win tonight.
Yeah, that was a perfect game coming out of Renee Tellman. 0-0-23. Again, tip your support. Very, very well played. Great ultimates, being able to disengage, force Battle in some odd situations with those ultimates. She didn't just pop it right away. She'd wait a little bit for teammates to get kind of split up, and then she used her ultimate, knocking them in all different directions, making it a little bit more difficult for Battle to orient themselves.
Right. Also, huge props again. I can't say it enough. Bo, I remember we were talking about him just sitting in the bot lane bush and thinking, what the heck is going on here? But with enough patience, he was able to get the 2 kills in the bot lane, giving that lead to Matthew Perkins and securing this crazy snowball lead that they got tonight.
Yeah, everyone played their role very, very well on Hickman's side. That's the biggest thing to highlight. As a team, as a unit, they look like a very well-oiled machine. The thing that kind of blew this out of control, though, was definitely the snowballed Kale in the top lane. Battle had a very good start at the beginning, responding well. They picked up, actually, the kill lead earlier on, and I don't know necessarily they were prepared for the Kale to start snowballing out of control. So it was 8-1 pretty early in the game.
3-minute teleport is not fun for Battle High School. But we see both teams handshaking each other, good games all around, practicing good sportsmanship. Coaches Ben Bruce and Salmons right now speaking with their teammates, analyzing the match that they just had. And I'm sure they're going to learn a lot from this. They're going to rewatch this for sure.
So with that actually, it ends the first rotation of games for Hickman and Battle. Hickman ending the first 3 weeks 1-2 with Hickman ending the first 3 weeks 2-1. B teams a little bit different on the same side. No team though is undefeated. Everyone is still in the running for first place. And come Friday, we'll be excited to close out week 3 with Rockbridge versus the visiting team Jefferson City. Rockbridge is currently sitting at 2-0, the only undefeated team left in the league. And we're going to see if they can close out the first 3 weeks with a 3-0 record.
Yeah, for sure. And for now, that will be all for us tonight at Ukatsu HQ. Thank you for watching both in person here tonight at our esports facility and, of course, online with our Twitch followers. We cannot thank you enough for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing our content as well as viewing our match tonight. Thank you again to our sponsors, Columbia College, Armstrong Teasdale, Columbia Public Schools, Veterans United, and last but not least, Hawthorne Bank. This couldn't have been possible without you guys. My name is Joe, co-founder of Ukatsu. With me, Ben Brooks. We are signing out. We'll see you on Friday.